What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Cortez Mack, and I am joined today by the homie Side, the Southern Yankee. Say what's up to the people, man.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all
We good, we good. You like where they
doing?
at,
Right.
bro? So what's up with you, man? How are you? How are you holding up during quarantine, the Corona era?
Man, I'm good, man. I've been chilling, so I'm always in the crib, so it's no real difference for me. You know what I mean? I just been vibing. I've been creating a lot more. I will say that. So that's been dope. I still been trying to get some home workouts in here and there. The
Yeah,
missing out on the gym probably was the biggest hit for me so far, but should be back in that thing soon. As for
it's a
now,
lot of gyms
staying.
back open now. Are you not going yet?
Yeah, no, mine is currently open. I'm trying to kind of play it easy. You know what I mean? I wanna wait because I know as soon as it opens, or it's been open for some days now, but I know everybody's trying to get in there right now. So I'm gonna just kind of let it die down just a little bit,
Yeah,
and try
smart,
it.
smart man.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely. It's
yeah.
hard because like you said, that's one of the things that you miss out on the most because that's a place people go to better themselves. And it's
Right,
like
right,
you miss
right.
out on that. And home workouts be good, but you gotta get creative after a while.
It's not the same, man. It's not the same, man. Like I got a couple because I used to work at a gym, so I have some equipment
Mhm.
um that I have or whatever, but it's just not the same. It's not the
Yeah,
same. It's
it's
not the
not at all. But shout out to the people out there making it happen, y'all. We're gonna be back in
word.
the gym soon. I'm saying that like I'm a hardcore gym muscle freak. Ain't that?
Yeah, man.
So let's get into the music. Well, before we get into the music, let's start with the name. So, Cy, the Southern Yankee. Where?
Yeah.
How did you come up with that?
So it's funny. I just switched to side of Southern Yankee probably about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Before that, I was running under a different name. Just real quick, it was just sincere. Um, you might have heard about it prior to, maybe not. But in Atlanta, I ran for a couple years under just sincere.
Okay.
Um, even in a couple groups under that name as well. But uh, I felt like I needed a different, a different feel, a different vibe. I felt like I needed a change all the way around. I had took a step away from music for a few years. So when I came back, I decided to do the name change, and the name change is just simply me, man. I'm originally from Queens, New York, and I was raised in Atlanta, Georgia. So I never really got accepted to the Southern crowd. Like anytime I was around any of my ATLian friends, you know what I mean? They're kind of like, you Yankee, you New Yorker or whatever. So, but anytime I'm around my New York friends, they're like, oh, you Southern, you sound country, you know what I mean? So I just never adapted to either. Like I got to a point to where I was just like, whatever, I'm the Southern Yankee, you know what I mean? And
You blend
and
them together.
Psy,
Need to get my hand up.
yeah, yeah, I just brought them together. I was like Psy, the Southern Yankee. Like it's easy and it's kind of catchy at the same time too.
That's dope. It is definitely,
Yeah,
and it's identifiable to two different groups already. They feel connected to you just off your name.
right.
That's dope.
Absolutely,
So who
absolutely.
would you say are would you say that you've been more so influenced by one more than the other, like New York over Atlanta or Atlanta over New York?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't say between New York or Atlanta. I would more so say just the East Coast feel, period. East Coast hip hop.
Hmm.
I grew up on that, so
Okay,
that's more so what what I'm saying, what I embody, I guess.
I got you.
Yeah, but I definitely grew up on Southern music too. You know what I mean? Just being around my peers and stuff like that, and just living down here at the same time. Uh, in passing, you hear different things, or on the radio you hear different things. So I would just I grew up on a lot, man. I grew up on a lot, but I say I'm a good mix of both.
That's what's up. I think that's good.
Yeah,
So, I mean, obviously that's good because people need to be kind of well rounded. So I think that yeah, if you would you pigeonhole yourself if you're not. So that's dope that you kind of already have that perspective. Would you
Absolutely.
say that you where you are presently, is it kind of reflecting more the South, or is it still kind of giving us that all around feel?
I feel like it's giving you an all around feel. I am trying to open myself up to uh different different vibes, that wouldn't necessarily be my cup of tea prior to.
Like
Um,
like what?
like just sound wise, like different types of beats, I would probably stick to a certain format before. And now I'm kind of opening myself up to different sounds, different beats, uh, just different vibes altogether, man. I'm trying to accept my ATLian, what I'm saying, my ATLian stamp. You know what I mean?
I feel you. How
Yeah.
important? I mean, is that a struggle for you as an artist to know when you can, you know, I don't even know how to word it. I guess when to have an open mind towards something versus feeling like you're conforming or being like somebody else or trying to adopt somebody else's idea. Is that even something that you think about?
Well, as an artist, I'm learning that you really should approach every creative situation open minded, like
Mhm.
free from whatever. Even if you do come across something, like, let's say you're creating, or I hear a beat and I feel like it may have a sound of a different artist, it's okay. That, you know what I'm saying? Especially if that artist is successful in what they're doing, I don't see why I should be like, nah, let me stay away from that because that sounds like somebody. Like, nah, if anything, you might be able to create something that could open up a feature opportunity, you know what I mean? Or just something like that, man. I'm more so with being relatable, man.
Yeah.
And that's all the way around. To the sound, to everything that they're hearing. But still staying true to myself, still staying true to myself. I want to make the music that I like to hear.
Mhm.
But my approach is more so wanting to talk about things that I don't feel like are discussed in most communities.
Okay. So with
Yeah.
that, I think that the most logical place to go is to talk about the project going through the motions. So you opened this project up in terms of like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like you are about to start a counseling session, correct?
Yes, 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 yes.
So, and the whole thing, the whole project, and we'll talk about it. It kind of that's the I guess that's the plot that's laid out. What went into that decision? How did you decide to do that?
Um, being in a real counseling session. Uh, yeah, being in a real counseling session. I was in a counseling session, and just talking about a few things. I realized that I came out of that session, and I had been prior to. That wasn't my first session, but coming out of that one in particular, I realized that it had did something to me. It changed something in the way that I operate, and in the way that I wanted to continue moving forward in my life. So I was just like, okay, I want to reflect on this moment. I want to speak about what I'm going through, but at the same time, I want to really speak on this moment and see if there are people out there who might have either been in this situation, or just I open them up to a situation that they would have never thought, like, oh damn, I know him, or I may not have known him, but he's around my age group, or he's young, and he's speaking about these things. Like, this is wild, you know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
was more so my approach. That was more so my approach.
Okay. So, and I think that for each of those tracks, there is definitely there's a lot of people that are gonna say, "Wow, like he voiced so much of what I was thinking and what I was
Yeah,
feeling." So the first
yeah.
track, or the intro, is called "Drowning." Why'd you decide to title it "Drowning"?
Because so many times, a lot of the times, or I haven't in a while, but I used to deal with anxiety, real heavy, and depression as well. Since then I've been really, really good, thank God. But for a while I had to deal with that. So, just for so long, not using that, but like that on top of everyday, life situations. You might take losses, as far as family and just situations. Like my career, my music, it's always meant a lot to me. And just from starting at a young age, uh, going through the process of just learning myself as an artist, the ups and downs of trying to develop and grow and become better. It just takes a toll on you after a while. Especially when you're chasing something and you really don't know what you want the end goal to be. You just know you see other people, what I'm saying, living a what seems to be a beautiful lifestyle, and you want that. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you're talented enough, so you want that. And I just think after a while it kind of took a toll on me. So I took a break from music for a while. I took about a 4 to 5 year break from music, and that was recently. I just kind of got back into it right before I released this project.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Wow.
drowning, that's ultimately what I felt like. I just felt like, from the anxiety and life just keep throwing stuff at me, and knowing that I have friends who I have heart to heart conversations with that go through the same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just nobody wants to talk about it because everybody's just going through their stuff. You know what I mean? Like you go through it in private, you never really have a discussion about it. Everybody deals with anxiety, everybody deals with depression. Nobody wants to talk about it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I was just like, forget it. Like I'm drowning. Like this is the things that technically I didn't tell the world this. Like technically y'all were just inside my counseling session. You know what I mean?
I love
So
that.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah,
So how do you feel like because I'm someone who's also battled depression at a point.
yeah.
How do you feel like you came out on the other side of that with tools to help you kind of if you were to, because for me I still kind of spiral back at times, but I mean I have resources at my disposal. How's that process for you?
When you say how's that process for me, as far as what? As
In
far as
terms
coming out of
of do you ever cycle back, or is it something that you kind of now are like you're all the way on the other side? Um,
it? At the start of this year, I was really down. At the start of this year, I was down. Um, Coming out of it, I'd say around February, March, I started to connect with God again because my
okay,
faith was rocky at the same time too. Um, but for me, I connected with God again, man, and that's what I needed. Like that was what I needed the entire time. My struggles, my ups, my downs, even in losses, not being able to understand the loss. So I'm just angry about the loss. So it's just stuff like that. And once I was able to connect with God, man, it put me in a place where it's like, okay, I'm having this understanding from you, God. I want to be able to just speak about this now. Like I want to be able to release this. So I just wanted to bring people closer to like how I was truly feeling, but keep it like a diary feel because I didn't want to make it seem like, all right, you know, start getting anxiety on myself. Like, oh, you telling too much about yourself. Like, you need to pull back. Like, hold on. Which I'm known for doing prior to in my years of doing music. I've always just expressed whatever I was going on in that moment or things that I've been through or seen or experienced or something like that.
hmm
But yeah, not to make that so long. Drowning, just man, it was just a career of just wait, man. I had to finally release it. Like I feel like drowning was that. I feel like drowning, I was able to release just everything I had been feeling for so long, for
okay,
so long.
so it got it out of you. Okay,
And
cool.
it was
So
short. And it was short. It
yeah,
was real
yeah,
short. Yeah.
definitely. Like yeah, and but that's the beauty in those things. You got the therapy that you needed out of it.
Right.
So from there, and I'm trying to go in order, but you
That's
gotta forgive
that's
me.
fine.
So
That's fine. That's fine.
we went from drowning. I think that the next song I listened to was actually the one that the video just dropped for it. Blame it on myself.
No, that's not the next one.
Mirage.
That's the one after the next one. That yeah,
Mirage.
Mirage is the next one.
Okay.
Mirage
See.
is
See.
next.
All right. All right.
My guy, my guy.
So let's talk about Mirage then. Let's go there, and then we'll go to
Okay.
Blame. How
Okay.
did Mirage come about? Is that you were speaking facts, bro? You were speaking facts.
Yeah, y'all like Mirage like that? I didn't
Yeah.
know. I didn't know. Yeah, Mirage, for me, that was the very first song that I wrote for the project, actually.
Okay.
So that was the one that set the tone for everything. Um, and I wrote Mirage, man. Like I was, as you can hear, man, I was in a place of like acceptance. I was going through different stages. I was going through the motions. Like I said, I was going through the motions. I was going through different stages. So I was going through a stage of acceptance, and in the midst of the acceptance, it's like a before you accept. It's like right before you accept it. You know what I mean? Right before you
Yeah.
accept it. Because with acceptance comes accountability, which blame it on myself was that.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, it was like the all right, well, I guess this is a real thing, but it's like, how is this a real thing when it's like, yeah, I got mine, but you have your, like, you know what I mean? So it was like a trying to just have that conversation with self because I didn't have the other entity to have that conversation with. So it was more so like going back and forth in my mind, like, how did it get here? How did it get this way? It's like, all right, I guess it is what it is. Like, this is what they say about love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, that's how I was feeling. That's how I
It
was
is
feeling.
hard. Love is hard. You definitely say
Yeah,
that in the song. But do you feel like love gets easier over time with the right person?
I feel like, and I'm trying to be very careful about this, right? Because you still go through life learning, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like right now, me answering this, I feel like love is something, and that's why I have to date it. I gotta date it. Love is something that I don't feel like should be difficult. I feel like love is just love. Like love is natural. You know what I mean? When it's authentic, when it's real, it just is. It's something that just is there. You know what I mean? And learning that you realize that love is not the only thing that will make a relationship exist. You know what I mean? Like look, Tina was right. What's love got to do with
Bro,
it? You know what I mean?
preach,
Like,
bro.
love ain't
Preach.
got to
I'm
do
like,
with
it's the
it.
Holy Ghost.
I can love you to death, but if everything under that list, you know what I mean, it's just if it's not checked off for us or it's not balanced, then love has nothing to do with it. We might have to love each other from a distance.
Shout out to Tina Turner.
Right? Right.
Damn. Loving each other at a distance, man. That's facts. So
Yeah.
we go from there to blame it on myself. And like you said, this is all about accountability. How has that ever been a struggle for you, being accountable in relationships?
110%. A
Okay.
hundred and ten percent. I feel like if I feel like most people struggle with that, or you might have a very select few that are like, I don't want people to be mad at me, or they just feel like, I'm always just gonna be accountable, which
Hmm.
bravo to them.
Hmm.
But a lot of the times when you're in the midst of your emotions and you're not really thinking straight, of course you can't really, and the ego a lot of the times plays a part in relationships.
Oh,
So, um, you know, it it's just not a thing. It's not a thing. So, but accountability is something that I've grown to start off with. Like that
mm,
that it has to be in the midst of the fundamentals. Like when we learning each other, like accountability has to start from there. That way it continues throughout the process. And if I demonstrate that, you're probably gonna reciprocate it. That way we're already past that stage. Like we're always holding each other accountable. You know what I mean? Or at least we're always we're always holding each other accountable. Yeah.
that's what's up. That's
Yeah.
what's So, in terms of that song, was it a specific situation or was it just kind of a general?
So for me, it for blaming on myself, I was more so speaking about the overall relationship. I
Got you.
wasn't even just talking about a specific situation. Um, And my approach with Blame It on Myself was so difficult because when it came to me, I of course was like, I love the idea. I love the
Mhm.
idea of Blame It on Myself, like especially coming from a man, like you know what I
Yeah,
mean. That's
yeah, it's hard.
really it don't really happen like that. So I was like, how much are you gonna express on this, or how much are you gonna be hold yourself accountable for? So I just kind of let my fingers go, man, and I just
Yeah.
that's what came of it, and I didn't hold back. I didn't hold back at all. I honestly Blame It on Myself was one of my favorites because I just wanted so much out of that one. Like
Yeah.
even I just wanted so much out of that one because I felt like this is the one thing that I could be proud of as a man. Like I held myself accountable for this. It's not just a song. Like whether this works or whether it doesn't work, I at least am holding myself accountable. You know what I mean? I can only play my part.
Yeah, and it
So
makes me stand out, that song and that message, because when I first saw it and I listened and I to hear the lyrics and just to hear somebody on it, because you don't, not even just from, like you said, my voice cracking, I'm getting so excited talking about it, but you hear it from, like you said, it's difficult for men in relationships, but I think it's hard for people in general to be accountable and to say, look, I take ownership in this not succeeding, or I take ownership in hurting you, or doing this and that. So we live in a society where I think it's so easy for a lot of people to point the finger or just wait for an apology to come to them.
game.
And
Yeah.
you know, so for you to do that, I just felt like that message is so necessary. So y'all make sure that you check out "Blame It on Myself." The video is
Appreciate that.
out now on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy, y'all. It's dope. How was that process for the video? How'd that come about?
Yo, man, shout out to KD Gray, man. He is Atlanta's own. Like when I tell you KD got to be the best videographer in Atlanta. Like, and I say that with respect. I'm not disrespecting any other videographers.
Shout
As
out to
far as
City
I
Saint.
know, KD been pushing for years. Like I'm talking about, he been manning it by himself for years. I see a lot of video teams. I know there's some people out there operating, dolo, but it's not just this man's, no grind as far as like shooting videos back to back. Like his turnaround time is crazy. Like I'm talking about, like we shot the video Saturday. I had the video in my email Monday morning. Like the guy goes
Wait,
like that,
wait.
and he left my video shoot to go shoot another video. Like that man, like he
Right.
just works. He worked, man. He works really hard. So shout out to him. He shot every single last one of my videos, and I will forever rock with KD. But KD came through, man. My boy Jason. That's one of my real life brothers. He has his crib. He got his own spot or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
his man cave or whatever.
Oh,
So I did a live performance. I don't know if you saw on my Instagram page. I did a live performance of Mirage
uh-huh.
um, in
I
that
but
same
I'm gonna go check it out.
exact living room. It's gonna throw you off because you're gonna see it's the same exact living room from the video. Blame It on Myself. So I
Okay.
basically kept the counseling session in the same exact place.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope though.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. So
dope.
when you go back, you'll check it out. But I did a live performance uh there back in, like, I say January or something, December, January.
Yeah.
And I had just been promoting this from there. So when I did Blame It on Myself, I was like, man, if I'm looking for a counseling session, I might as well use the same spot. Like that was the feel that we were trying to provide.
Mhm.
Um, and it just worked out great, man. KD came through. We shot it. We did the video probably in like 2 hours. We got the shots that we needed, and from there, the rest was that. The rest was that, man.
That's what's up. So we
Yeah,
moved from "Blame It on Myself" to the final song of the project, "All About the Lessons." So
yeah.
talk about a lot in this one. I had a lyric in my head and it just slipped my mind. But what would you say is the most valuable lesson that you learned on your journey as an artist?
Ooh, that's a good one, bro.
Thank you, thank you,
On
thank you.
my journey as an artist, man, I just say the valuable lesson is to just trust yourself as an artist. Like, be patient with self and trust yourself. Like if you truly believe in your heart that you like are talented, like people's opinions and people's like critiques and stuff like that, it could really change you as an artist. It could throw you completely off to the point where you kind of lose yourself, you know. But again, what's something when you're blessed with something and it comes natural, you could always get back to it. You just
Yeah.
gotta tap in. You know what I mean? You just gotta tap in. So I just that would be my main advice because that's something that I still, you know, deal with as an artist. You know what I mean? Like I have my moments where I'm thinking of everybody else instead of just sitting down and just creating. You know what I mean? Like just create, just have fun and create. So yeah,
Yo, that just hit me because that's
man.
self-doubt. Self-doubt is probably like my biggest. I'll be honest, I think that's my biggest obstacle so far. Is that I just keep comparing myself to people who've been doing this longer, who
Yeah.
have bigger audiences, and I'm like, I'm not
And
even. I feel like I'm kind of shortchanging my growth because I just keep like worrying about other people.
and
And
you are because honestly, bro, they're not a measuring scale. Like they just got to the platform before you did. They got an opportunity before you did. They was in the right place at the right time before you was. Like that's all that was. You're probably just as talented, if not more talented. You're just not. You just haven't been positioned yet. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes in that process and going through the motion, you kind of check yourself out sometimes and like I said, you just got to stay tapped in. You got to trust in yourself, and when you truly believe that you can do something and you really just commit to it, it'll happen, it's gonna happen, it's
you
gonna
gotta
happen.
do that for yourself too, bro, because you are
Yeah,
talented.
for
You are
sure, for sure.
definitely like somebody that y'all need to go out, y'all need to discover. So, what would you want people to start? Would you want them to just go through the project in order to get to know
Yeah,
you?
it's 10 minutes long. They could start from beginning to end. They could pick and choose randomly which one they wanted to do. It's just from start to finish. I'm proud of it. Like it's 4 tracks.
Okay.
It's 10 minutes long. 10 minutes of your time. You could do it driving to work. You could do it coming home from work. You can listen to it while you at the crib, whatever. However, you know what I'm saying? It's lit. It's lit.
It's lit. All right. So another thing that's lit is games. I'm a game person. So before we get out of here, I'm gonna throw
Yeah.
one quick game at you. Are you familiar with One Gotta Go? You seen that like on social media? They post like pictures of 4 things, and you got to get rid of one.
Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna have 4 rappers now because we're doing a hybrid of the North and the South. I'll give you 2 from each, right? And you just
God.
gonna have to eliminate one. So you got Jay-Z, you got Nas,
Mm-hmm.
you got Andre 3000,
Mm.
and you got, let's go with Ti. That'll be 4.
All right. With all due respect, T, I gotta go.
That
All
was
due
so
respect,
quick.
T, I gotta go. Cause I'm not. I can't throw away Andre. I can't throw away Andre. Like Andre Cole, I love Andre. Jay, Jay is Jay. Like that's Jay. You can't throw away Jay. And Nas will just, you know what I'm saying? Jay and Nas go. That's just a great mix right there. That's a great mix, man. Ti is great, but I feel like as far as the caliber of the people that you name, I don't necessarily put him that close to
Damn,
them.
not the king, the
Yeah.
king.
And
Damn.
I rock with Ti. I feel like Ti is one of the goats. Like I feel like Ti one of the goats. I don't if in that caliber, nah, I don't put him there. But
All
hell
right,
yeah.
fair game, fair game. All right,
Yeah.
Tip. Sorry, not this time, player. All right, so where can the people find you, man? We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, but the people need to access you. Where are they going?
Bet on Instagram, I'm Energy Shift, man. That's actually my new brand, man. Y'all gonna see some stuff coming soon. Energy Shift, you'll see that. On Twitter, it's Energy Shift LLC. But outside of that, man, that's all it is.
You already know Spotify,
So,
Apple Music, you on all
right,
platforms. All
right.
right, y'all.
Going through the
Please
motions,
pursue
get that.
them. Y'all deserve it. Definitely a
Yep.
dope artist that y'all need to look out for. Y'all gonna say that you knew him when. All right, y'all. It's Cortez
Yeah.
Mac TV. the Southern Yankee. Appreciate your
Hey,
time, my
bro,
bro.
I appreciate you for having me, man. I definitely appreciate you, man. We got to do this again.
Hey, we can do it again. Bring
Yes,
friends.
sir.
All right, y'all. It's Cortez Night TV. Let's go.